My name is Alan Wetzel, and 1962 holiday house that took about 3 years for me to restore. It was a bit of a basket case when I got it. It's a little labor of love with a decent amount of profanity thrown in throughout the process, because restoring one of these things is quite a challenge, but totally worth it when you're done. These things are really rare, and I had looked for 3 years trying to find one. I had put out like $1,000 finder fee offer, nothing. And then there's the group in Bend called Flight Camp, and I bought it from them unrestored. They had pulled it out of a long-term campground down in Lake Tahoe, California, put it on a flatbed and got it back up to Bend, Oregon, and they advertised it on Craigslist. I ran down a couple days later and bought it from them. Like I said, it was kind of hurting when I got it. The ceiling was caving in. The closer you look at these things, when they're 60 years old and they haven't been restored, everything's just kind of nasty and dry rotted, and a dozen dead mice and 10 pounds of mice stuff everywhere.
So you did a full frame off restoration?
I kept the walls on both sides kind of as reference points. Took all the plywood flooring up down to the 32nd of an inch thick aluminum belly pan. Sits on top of the metal frame. With the exception of the walls still being on it and a microscopically thin piece of aluminum on the frame, it was down to the frame. That allowed me to have reference points as it went back together. The walls hadn't moved, and with the way this is built, you can replace all the framing with the walls still on it, and then you kind of piecemeal the roof apart and back together, so you never lose that connection between the two walls. I had done a canned ham 5 years prior.
Oh wow.
So I had a little experience with working on these things, but bottom line is this thing is nothing like a canned ham. The front is the most challenging part, at least for me. It's got a bunch of goofball angles on it. The flat big piece of glass is original. The curved sides are new. There's a guy that's got the molds for them.
Oh wow.
So he heats up the plexiglass and forms it properly.
Okay. Well, it looks amazing.
Yeah, they turned out nice. The originals were all cracked and crazed.
I can only imagine.
These things look great, but they were natural born leakers. You know, this front here, there's spots where you've got a horizontal sheet of aluminum butting up against the bottom of the window, so you know the water can just lay there, and over time that's the part that really starts to have rot on these, is this
water
front
finds
area.
a way.
Yeah, it does. It does.
So what did you do to the inside? Did you rebuild all of this yourself?
I did. 99% of it I did myself. A few exceptions. I mean, this big fiberglass eyebrow thing on the top front, I gave it to a guy who specializes in fiberglass. There's new aluminum on the sides. The original stuff was pretty beat up, and skirting's new. All the main stuff came pre-polished, thank God.
And you were saying that the colors on the doors came from a Planters Peanuts can?
The blue and the yellow, they're on the big eyebrow thing up front. They were kind of inspired by a few too many beers in a Planters Peanut can.
Well, these are the stories we love to hear.
There you go,
so
for sure.
Who did the upholstery inside?
I had a guy in the Dalles help me out on that. He's on Facebook. Can't recall his name, but did a really cool job. I found the fabric online and just tried to kind of pump up the color and keep things as bright as I could. Delilah, come on.
We got Delilah joining us for a little walkthrough.
Yeah, come on, girl. Come on. It's family fun.
The best part of all these trailers is when you finally get to step up inside.
There you go.
Oh, I love it. So is this the original table?
It is not, no. It's
definitely original style.
It is.
Like that.
The Formica is a reproduction of an old style, but the original Formica.
And I love all of the storage you got up here.
Yeah, it comes in handy.
Wonderful.
This is what the original Formica looked like.
Okay.
And it was everywhere. It was on the counter, the backsplash, the table, the bathroom walls. So it was kind of a bland yellow. So we kind of spiced things up.
I love this. This is definitely pops.
Yeah, it's Wilson Art. They reproduce all of the old Formica from the 50s.
So it looks like the front of the stove might be the original color as well.
It is. So they really went hardcore on the
yellow,
the pale yellow, which wasn't all that good a look as far as we were concerned.
These are all of the things that you gotta love. Is all the fixtures.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just did a great job on the inside of those windows.
Yeah. Everything's running on 12 volt, except for the outlets if we want to plug something in. But 12 volt for all the lighting. That way we can boondock and not have to be plugged in.
And I see you put in a 3-way refrigerator. Is that correct?
It's a 2-way.
2-way, okay.
It's one of the rare ones that doesn't need any electricity going to it.
So run off propane alone?
It's propane alone, but the newer ones almost all require you to have like 12 volts running to the board, to keep them operating. But this thing's simpler, so there's no electricity needed aside from the 120. If you want to run it on electrical, you can, but you don't have to have 12 volts going to it for.
And with the way things have been, Norcolts, I know we were looking for one for our trailer, and they're super hard to get right now. So this is a gaucho?
It is. It comes out to about here. The wooden part underneath pulls out, and there's 2 little support legs that pop out. So it's probably about the size of a full-size bed. This is one of my favorite parts of the project was.
Oh my gosh!
Because
I love the sci-fi.
If you're gonna go camping, you're gonna get abducted by aliens at some point. So
where did you get this?
A little whimsy. It's on Spoonflower, if I recall.
Yeah.
But
that's some great fabric.
So that was kind of fun. After you work on these things for a long time, you get a little loopy, so you start looking at stuff like that and just. But
yeah, it's phenomenal.
This is the inspiration, the blue and the yellow.
You did, but I didn't actually film
Yeah, so
the fact that you have the planters with you already tells me you're ready for another drunk adventure.
Could be. But one of these days
you're camping, right?
Right. Well, yeah, because nothing says camping like having a freaking vent hood.
Did you already check out the little bathroom area?
No, I'm just get some B-roll up.
Does it have a name? Because Mr. Peanut is always.
That could work. It doesn't. I just call it the house.
Right.
Yeah.
So has just named it the Mr. Peanut.
I don't know if we want to christen it that, but
it could work.
But you got is it a full shower?
No. It originally had a microscopic shower, a porcelain toilet, and a sink in the corner. By the time I got it, it was torn apart. Most of the plumbing was no longer in there, so the fixtures had been thrown out, 20 years prior. It was so small, and it also had a step up originally, so to get into it you had to step up like 5 or 6 inches, so my head would hit the ceiling as it was done originally.
Oh yeah, the old step up toilet, yeah.
Right, so that was just not a great fit, and again, it was non-functional, it was just beat to hell. So we put the cassette toilet in, and I've actually got the original parts. So someday, if I sell it,
there you go.
Somebody could reinstall it and make it perfectly original if they wanted to. But for us, this is just a lot nicer.
that little sink was cute. I did see that.
Yeah, that's just just Amazon searches and
for the sink?
eBay. Yeah, that sink's not original. The original sinks were really cool, but that one's not it. It's just one of the ones I found on.
That is perfect size small enough.
Right.
And it's got a little 3-gallon water heater.
Yeah. Well, and
Decent amount of storage.
closet space, I always appreciate.
Right.
That's a nice thing when you're camping for
You
more
got
than
safe,
a couple
keeps you
days.
safe. Little water heater action.
Little water heater. The wife likes her warm water.
Yes.
And,
They tend to. Wife's like that.
yes,
Warm water.
Yes. Gotta keep the ladies happy. So.
Does it still turn into a bed up here?
It does, yeah. It's these are kind of cool. They have the table that
Where it folds
folds into the
forward.
wall,
Oh.
and there's actually another leaf. So if we want to have Thanksgiving dinner, we can bring it all the way out to here and surround the.
Get your turkey.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Let's see if this thing.
Well, it actually goes into the wall.
It does. If I can get the
I see where
puppy
we
dog
go.
to move.
I smell what the rock is cooking. Wow.
So
Is that how it originally worked as well?
yeah, that's original.
So then you can just fold it out into a whole bed.
Yeah, and then it's totally different than most of the. So these pull out. This comes together. There's a couple little stands that go under here. So it's different than how most of the front beds go together.
It's kind of nice though. It seems like it'd be pretty sturdy.
It's really sturdy, yeah. So,
Yeah.
so
Very cool. Oh my gosh.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
most definitely.
I'll leave you with your peanuts.
Yes, yes. They are.
He's got peanuts and pretzels. We know where this is going.
And the beer is in the fridge. It's all coming together.
Yeah, you have a party.
The master plan.
I wouldn't go that far.
Well, you know how to camp.
I love it when a master plan comes together.
Yeah, I can camp and drink beer with the best of them.
Well, thank you so much. This
Bet.
has been a treat. Oh my gosh. And thanks for rescuing it.
Yeah, that's the cool part.
Yeah.
Keeping it on the road.
Yes.
BossaNova.